So first thing you do is you take your chips and you soak them in water, and we're going to strain this out. Strain the water out. You want to soak it for a few hours just so it burns slower. All right. Next step, you take your the pan, the hotel pan that you're going to use for smoking, and you're going to want to line it with aluminum foil. You'll get some burn marks on your pan, so you want to line it with aluminum foil. On your stove, the burners are set apart from each other, so we're going to take the chips and we're going to put them like this, just two little piles. If you put it in the middle, nothing's going to burn because there's no flame there. We're going to do two little piles like this. We're going to put our perforated pan on top of that, and then our lid on top of that. And all you do is you take your pan, we're going to put it on the stove. Make sure you don't burn yourself. We're going to do it on high heat until the chips start to light, and then we'll reduce the heat down to about medium. All right, so what we have here are chicken thighs. Okay, so in the bowl, I marinated these in some oil and some salt, but I'm gonna go ahead and top it with a little salt. This will help to kind of crisp the skin, but also add some flavor to it. And I'm gonna do a little pepper too, just a little bit. I don't like to put anything crazy. You could add a little paprika if you wanted for color. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull that off. We're gonna put this whole pan in. Then we're gonna cover it back up. And that's it. We'll leave this for a couple of hours to smoke, and we'll come back and see what we got. All right, so I walked away, and I should have been keeping an eye on this, but this is what happens when your smoke is too hot and you let it go just a little too long. So be aware of that. You want to cut your heat down to medium, but I'm still gonna eat them. They're still gonna be good. Now we've got over here, we've got some chicken thighs that were marinated in an Asian dressing, the one that we did during the emulsion lesson, and I'm grilling them. This will be good to show. So we got some grill marks. You can see that I started like this, and now I'm turning like this, so we're gonna have some diagonal marks. So we'll have those beautiful marks that you see in a restaurant. And then if you had come to our cutting class, you would have seen us make these. I cut these a little bigger because I wanted some bigger fries. But what I did was I cut these, peeled, and then sliced them in a really large julienne. And I've got a pot of oil on the stove that I'm bringing up to temperature, and we're going to, what I did was I did a first cook, they call them blanching on the potatoes, which is a lower temperature, 275 for 5 or 10 minutes. I think I did like 6.5 minutes on it. You pull them out, you drain them, and then you put them on a pan. I threw these in the freezer. You don't have to put them in the freezer. You could just put them in cold after they've been blanched the first time. We'll do a second cook on them, and then they get nice and crispy because all of the starches have already been cooked out of them. All right, let's come back to our, look at those nice grill marks. Beautiful. That's what you want to see in a nice grilled chicken. All right, that was I did a 3-minute timer on them. can see they're nice and golden brown. I'm gonna call it a day. You can pull one out and check it just to make sure you like it. You can take it. These are bigger, so you might want to just make sure that it's got a really hot temperature. So a couple hundred degrees is good. So we're gonna pull the rest of these out and then season them. Make sure you season them while they're hot and oily so they soak up the salt. If not, they'll just taste like unseasoned potatoes. All right, well, I did lose some video, so I'm gonna have to patch this together, but I didn't do the tasting on it, or I had the tasting, but I've lost it, deleted it or something. But I had to run off and do a class, and when I came back, I was a little too late. Temperature was up a little too high, and the thighs got a little dark. They were really, really good, though. I super enjoyed them. The fries were super crispy. When you blanch them and then you put them in the freezer and freeze them, and then you bring them back out and cook them again, they turn out perfect. That's the way to do it. In the past, I've done it where we just cool them. We just throw them in the cooler and let them stay cold. But it's really good if you put them in the freezer. If you're going to do this, I would not recommend that you do this for a long period of time, like with a pork shoulder. What you're going to end up having is you're going to run out of chips, and then it's just going to be like a bake. And I mean, that's fine if you want to do that, but you're not going to get as much smoke, so your smoke ring's not going to be as good. The grilled chicken turned out great. You could see by the grill marks. It had kind of a soy and ginger flavor to it. I kept marinating the chicken, and it turned out perfect. So overall, it was a great meal. Great way to smoke meats if you need to. I would not recommend doing this at home either, because doing it at home is not going to keep your house from getting smoked out. You are probably going to smoke your house out, and that's not going to be too fun. You could do it outside if you wanted to, which this would be good. You could put it on a gas grill, put one of those pans on a gas grill, and that would work fine. But other than that, I would not do that. Well, I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe, hit the bell. Next time a video comes out, you'll get to see it right away. Thanks a lot.